My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about whether white people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I came across this video on my FYP of this lady talking about how her family and other people who look like her, their families, how she goes to visit her friends and family, what they talk behind closed doors about people that looks like me and all that. And I was like, don't you guys get tired? Like, what exactly are they talking about? Don't you get tired of discussing all of these kind of things, right? When you come out, you act like everything is okay, but behind closed doors, you talk about things that... Anyway, guys, I've got some videos for you guys. I'm just going to let them roll. Then we come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. And credit to all creators on this video. Let's go check out these videos. Then we come back and we talk more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's go watch.
My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about whether white people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white. Obviously, this makes for some awkward conversations when I do call them out, but point being, the depths of the racism and the darkness that seeps in deeply into these families can only, in my opinion, truly be exposed by other white people, because they will never be their full racist selves around anyone who is not white. They like to save face publicly and say that they're not racist, but then again, if you go into their homes and you hear the things they say, that would suggest otherwise. I just encourage you, if you're a white person and you know people like this, please say something. Don't just ignore it for fear of conflict.
So the first comment I saw here is someone saying it's not up to black people to solve racism. That's why it's not gone. It's up to racists and their family to solve it. Okay. And then I later saw comments of people who are also white coming out to say what happens in their own family, okay, then being racist as well. So this one say, my father's side of the family, they act so welcoming to a non-Christian or black person face to face, but the awful things said behind closed doors are unforgivable. Okay. Racism is an unhealthy obsession with POC, like who sits up in their home and just goes, let's start a hateful conversation about this particular group of people of color, is weird. I'm seriously saying it. Really, this is weird. Like, when you see some of these things, you will just know that it's weird. Like, who sits down and really... Somebody say, why are they so scared to say it to our faces though? I'm sure that they wouldn't want to say it to your faces because they want to be all good and on the outside. Meanwhile, you already know who they are out, on the inside, right? Black people know this. We also get this treatment from other minorities and people of color who want proximity to whiteness. Anyway, you already know, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, in the comment section. Let me allow some stitches I got from this video to roll. Then we come back and we'll talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's go watch.
White people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to.
At this point, no one cares. And the reason why no one cares is because everything you're doing doesn't just affect us, but it severely affects you. So the fact that you're now wanting to discuss something that is literally destroying you is comical. The fact that I want to have these conversations now after you done blew up the fucking world. You could have had these conversations a long time ago, but you chose not to because you're what? Cowards. And now you want to have these conversations. See, you want to have these conversations now when you see that it's not really affecting us and our way of life. Like, what are you going to take away from us? You're going to say another monkey joke? What is it that you're going to say? That we're lazy? Oh, okay. What is it that you're going to say now? Because we're not crashing out because we voted against our best interests. We're not crashing out is because you put an idiot in office. We're not crashing out because our president actually is from South Africa. So now y'all want to have these conversations to say what? That black people and people of color are not actually monkeys or apes or coons or whatever y'all choose to call us today. Like, you're now realizing that it's you. You're the uneducated. You're the DEI. You want to have these conversations to what? To convince each other? You're not going to convince each other of things that you know that are fact. Like when you're living in a level of delusion, you've been telling each other for centuries that you're the master race. How are you a master race when you have to hold down other people to secure this mastery? I mean, one invention that doesn't start with ism that you created, right? What I'm seeing now is that people of color, especially black people, can give zero fucks. Okay, gives zero fucks that you wash your legs, you season your food, that you read, that you do this, that, and a third. We just want to be left alone in our peace, like we was 100 years ago. And every time we're left alone in our peace, minding our business, y'all crash the fuck out because you thought we were going to be suffering and we don't suffer. And so because we don't suffer, you come and attack us because you want us to suffer like you suffer. Y'all having these irrelevant, redundant ass conversations that y'all been having for fucking centuries. Talking about dismantling shit that you could have dismantled hundreds of years ago. Uninterested.
A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors.
Okay, her name's Kylie. Of course, we all can see she's white. And she makes the statement that a lot of racism by white people happens behind closed doors. Not just white people. I know I have black people in my family that can't stand white people. I've never really dealt with them, never been around them. The hatred and the racism that they have and feel comes from the history of this country. I've even stated myself that black folks can't be racist. In order to display racism, you have to have some type of power over someone of a different race. And I was of the belief that because black people, we don't have governmental power. We don't have, we don't have employment power. We don't have the power to deny someone a job because of the race or we do in certain instances, but overall, we do not have that ability to deny someone a home or a job because of their race or nationality or religion. But I'm wrong. I was wrong. Black people can be racist. Black people are racist. Not all, but and I'd say that to say not all white people are racist. Yes, they were brought up in a racist system. They were brought up in a system that, the system was structured around white men. This governmental system that we're in this country, was structured, built, and conformed around white men. And yes, it is a racist system. But have you ever been in the projects at like 9:30 at night in a car with some white people come riding through? Watch what happened to them people. So essentially, racism is hate. Can we agree on that? I think we can. That the basis of racism is fear and hate. So that group of white kids coming into projects, maybe to buy drugs, maybe to buy weed or whatever. That group of white kids that comes into the projects at 9 o'clock at night experience hate and fear on both sides. They're experiencing, the white kids are experiencing fear because you got a gang of black dudes surrounding your fucking vehicle, not letting you move, trying to bust your windows and shit. But the black dudes are experiencing hate, displaying hate and fear because they don't know who these white people are. That's racism. Get your white ass out my goddamn, get out my hood. That's racism. You can't help stupidity. You can't help ignorance. And anyone who displays racist behavior, that's what it is: ignorance, fear, and hate. I grew up around white people. I was put in a group home at the age of 14. And it was in that group home, there was 16 guys. Only 3 of us was black. At one point in time, I was the only black kid in that group home. I have been in situations where I love racing. I'm a NASCAR fan. I went to the Atlanta Motor Speedway and looked around and did not see another black face in the venue. And yes, there were people looking at me. There were people, chuckling and saying a little shit. But because of who I am and knowing who I am and knowing what I am, you can say what the fuck you want. You can, as long as you don't make me think behind your hateful words will come, action. You can stand across the room and call me as many N-words as you want. I don't give a shit. That's your God-given right to be a fucking idiot. That's what this country's about: freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. So, I mean, if your brain tells you to call me something other than the name that I was given by my parents because of my skin color, I can't do nothing with you anyway. So I'm not even gonna try to talk to you. I'm gonna let you be ignorant, but you're gonna be ignorant across the room because you come at me with hateful shit coming out of your mouth, giving me the impression that there's going to be action behind that shit. Let's get it. We can do that. And I'll show you why it's not cool to fuck with people just because they're different. We slap the title racist onto white people before we even know who they are, what their name is. Oh, he's racist. Look at him. He look racist. I'm guilty of it. I've done it. He looked like a fucking redneck. And then a few hours later, after me and I thought that old racist redneck done had a couple of drinks, a few beers, and sat down and chit-chatted. I'm that dude that will tell you, you know what? I misjudged you, and I apologize. What do you mean? To myself or to the people I was with. I was looking at old fucking redneck. I bet he's racist. Again, labels. I'm going to stay on that label kit. We are so fucking quick to slap a label on a person and designate them to this or this. And even before we know any fucking thing about the person, we'll slap a label on them. Just let people be. Let people be who they are. And if said person is racist, are you willing to put in the effort to try to change their thought, their behavior, the way they perceive other races? Are you willing to put in that work? Because it has been done. There have been George Wallace, famous segregationist, governor of Alabama, went many, many years talking about niggers, is what he called us. But towards the end of his life, after being shot and paralyzed and put in a wheelchair and being taken care of by a black woman, he realized, I've been being an asshole to these people for no reason. They're no different than me. I cut them, they bleed red blood. I hurt them, they will cry. I make them angry. People do change. Even that late in the game, people change. People can change. So
I'm happy that younger generation of palm-colored people are beginning to realize what has been happening. They are beginning to realize that they need to start calling a spade a spade. Quite a number of them are coming on the internet to really talk about their own people and, exposing some truths behind closed doors. Okay, things that we don't even know about or things that we know, but nobody is really talking about it, especially people, palm colored people, right? They're not talking about it because they do not want to, have like issues with their own people or something. But I'm happy that these younger generations, they are beginning to come out and speak the truth as it is. Okay, like this young lady who is talking about how the whole closed door, talking about how they talk about people of color behind closed doors, even when they accept them, okay, physically. And even in the comment section, you see people like her coming to the comment section, like the other comment we saw where the lady was talking about her family, okay, accepting somebody who is a non-Christian and also a black person to the family, but once you leave, they table your matter, you get. But a lot of them are coming out to really say the truth, okay? Anyway, let's look at some comments I've got for you guys. So someone said, as a white person, we must speak out loud and clear against racism when we encounter it. If we don't, we are enabling it and are complicit. Okay. Another person said racism is not a black problem. Racism is exclusively a white problem. It can only be solved by white folks. Racism was created, perpetrated by white people. Only white people can solve racism. Someone said I broke up with a boyfriend before because his family was so racist. He didn't ever acknowledge it, so I knew that meant he thought he was safe with me. He will, nah. Oh my. Anyway, somebody said, what irks me is that whites have the gall to deny the existence of racism with their full chest. Many of them do it, but turns out being openly, okay, raised to the seas when only they are around, and is actually common according to this writer. Oh, we know low. This is why I assume everyone I meet is raised to the seas until problem proving otherwise. I'm aware it's kinda a sad way to live, but I just wanna protect myself. It's really funny that a lot of people have begin to, assume the fact that people are this, okay? A lot of palm colored people are rated as this, and they decide to see every one of them as such until proven otherwise. I've heard countless times where people say, oh, this is how who this person is. I have a friend who is a black American, okay, and she will always tell me, Princess, do not trust these people. I'll be like, why? And when I say that, she will look at me like, okay, you don't understand. And she has tried as much as possible to really explain some things to me. Sometimes I'll be like, are you kidding me? Until you really understand the struggles of Black Americans, people who have gone through some sort and their ancestors have gone through a lot, you might end up not really understanding what is happening. As an African, I can only understand what we go through here in Africa, right? But aside that, I don't know much, okay, except when I interact with people or watch videos like this, then my mind opens to a lot of things. And seeing it that it's coming from a white folk, I'm now like, okay, this is real. Like, I know not just me, a lot of people be like, okay, this is real right now. Anyway, guys, but share your thoughts with me in the comments. Like, what do you think about today's video? Have you experienced this? Even as a palm colored person, have you experienced this? Or as a black person? Okay, but as a palm colored person specifically, have you experienced being in closed doors with your folks and they talking about these people in some kind of way that makes you even uncomfortable, right? Share with us in the comments. Let's hear everyone's thoughts, okay? Both people that looks like me, what's your thought on today's video? Let's have that conversation. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys on my next If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.